Alright, we are live. So, let's start with number one. Okay, so cumulative wage price spiral, which produces very rapid inflation, is called, and then I put demand pull inflation.
Yeah, this one's kind of tough. I'm not sure if it's demand pull or hyperinflation. I was
I
kind of
was I was thinking hyper.
That's what I was leaning toward as well, but I don't know.
Should we investigate further?
Yeah, I'm gonna open my book. Do you guys know if there's still other people in our group that are like trying to come on but haven't?
There's been other people that have posted responses on the.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know.
Okay. Just checking because I wanted to make sure we're not like leaving anybody out.
Uh, The first one I was thinking hyperinflation, just because it talks about the spiral and rapid inflation.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, number two. What is an advantage of mild inflation according to some economists? I put it reduces frictional, structural, and whatever that word is, unemployment in the economy to make the economy more productive. But I was a little bit confused on this one. So,
That's what I put also.
This one had me totally stumped. I was trying to find where it listed anything in the book about this specifically, giving one of those options, and I couldn't find anything to relate to any of those answers.
Huh.
well, manage mileage.
Had me totally stumped.
Types of inflation.
What's an inflation premium?
So that is when, say, for example, you take out a loan, and if you have inflation over time, the value of the money that you're getting um, in the loan is worth X or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Over time, that value goes down, so the amount of money you're paying back has less value. So
okay.
tuition premium adds an amount of interest or whatever to that loan, so that the money you're paying back is more equivalent to the money in value that you got originally.
That makes sense.
So it's a trick that banks use and everything to kind of retain their value.
So I don't think this would be that.
Yeah. Well, it kind of depends. If they're talking about,
The
it,
advantage of the banker.
is it as
I
opposed
wonder.
to large inflation? They don't really say that. As opposed to no inflation? I don't know. So if they're saying mild instead of high inflation, then sure, it could reduce the inflation premium. But if they're saying versus no inflation, then that doesn't make sense because that's what gives you the inflation premium.
Interesting.
And maybe I'm overthinking the question, but like I said, it had me totally stumped.
I think D.
All right.
That's what sounded most correct to me. Um,
Should we move on?
Yeah, people think that. Okay, inflation is a rise in I put A.
Yeah, that's what I got as well.
Me also.
So these are really easy and so which of the following measures the change in the prices of the market basket in some 300 goods and services purchased by typical urban consumers? I put consumer price index.
Yeah, me too. B.
Inflation caused by an increase in aggregate spending is referred to as, and I didn't know if this was anticipated or hyperinflation. I thought it was anticipated.
I've got demand pull inflation for this one. It's extra spending as opposed to the other one that's the cost push.
So what's the cost push?
That's when the prices of supplies and your materials go up or whatever
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
cost that makes the cost go up. Whereas demand pull is when there's too much money in the system. There's too much spending, so that's where the aggregate spending comes from. That's my understanding.
So the definition says increase in aggregate demand. Is that the same as spending?
I think so.
That's what confused me. Because I looked for aggregate spending and none of them said that. So I was like, okay, well then what is it?
Yeah, and in that way they kind of change the terminology depending on what's in the book or in the question. That can be really confusing for me too.
Okay. So you put demand pool?
That's what I put. Yeah.
Okay. Inflation caused by a rise in the prices of inputs is referred to as.
So that one must be cost push.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. Assume that there is a fixed rate of interest in contracts for borrowers and lenders. If unanticipated inflation occurred in the economy, then I put D.
Yeah.
Me too.
The recurrent ups and downs in the level of economic activity extending over several years is referred to as business cycles.
Yep, that's
what I got.
A trough in the business cycle occurs when employment and output reach their lowest levels. Yay or nay?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Me too.
Most whatever. I can never say that word. Agree that the immediate cause of the majority of cyclical changes and the level of real output is unexpected changes in the rate of inflation.
I put level of total spending for this.
Me too.
And this was kind of a difficult one too, because there's so many different aspects that it's hard to know which one they're referring to.
But it does say level of output, so that would make sense. Okay, the Great Recession that started in 2007 was triggered by shocks in which of the following economic sectors? I put C.
Me too.
Okay. The unemployment rate is interpreted as the percentage of the B.
Me too.
Which of the following is the correct way to calculate the unemployment rate? Unemployment divided by the force times 100.
Yeah, I got B as well.
Okay.
Oh, I did D, but I see. I messed up. That would give you a 1 whatever.
Yeah.
In calculating the unemployment rate, discouraged workers who are not actively seeking employment are excluded.
That's what I got.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Sorry. 14 is A.
So the discouraged workers are. I thought there was like a weird name for them and they're included as part of unemployment, but that's part of the reason why unemployment will never reach 0.
That's like cyclical unemployment and those kind of things. The discouraged folks are those who are no longer looking for a job. And so to be part of the labor force, you have to be willing and able to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said it better than I was going to read it. Okay, so it's like 15. Population unemployment rate part-time workers are, I got B.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get that too? Okay.
Um, I got frictional, but I don't necessarily know why I got that.
Not what?
Frictional, C.
Oh.
Are we looking?
I'm gonna go back over 14 and 15 at the end.
Okay.
We can keep cruising though. We're doing good. Or I mean 15, 16.
Oh, were we on 16?
We were on 15.
We were on 15.
15B.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
You
16.
15B, yeah.
Yeah.
And then 16 was what?
I got C.
Okay, me too.
Okay.
It was just 14 then.
Okay. And then 17, full employment refers to the situation when there is.
I got D.
Yeah, I did too.
Me as well.
Okay. The one quirk that labor markets have, which helps explain why unemployment goes up so much in recession, is that wages are flexible upward but sticky downward.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
19. If the consumer price index for a certain year is 120, this means that the average price for consumer items in that year was. And this one, I had no idea. I just didn't understand how to do it. So.
What was the difference for me? So if it was 120, that means it was 20% higher.
Yeah.
But the reason I didn't choose D is because it's not always comparing it to the average price of the preceding year. It needs a base period. So that's why I went with A.
Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it. Yeah. I had gone with D, thinking that the preceding year would be the base year, and that because when they're talking about a base period, I don't know, that really threw me off.
Huh.
Like, I don't know, because it's the base period. Well, first off, it's supposed to be a base year,
Yeah.
and so
True.
it's not always going to be 1982 through 84. So I don't know, but I can totally see what you're saying now. I hadn't thought of it that way. I put D.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Preceding year, what do they mean by that?
What'd you say?
What do they mean by preceding year? Like the next year?
No,
Or the year
the year
after that?
before.
Yeah. And that's typically how it's done, is they make the base year the preceding year, but that doesn't mean that that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess technically I'm not sure any of these are right.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult.
Let's see if the book says anything.
I think I'm going to, I don't know, I tend to stick with D.
That's fine.
No, just what D. Alright, and then 20, I got 9 million.
Me too.
Do we go back to any?
I want to look at 14 more.
Okay.
So the discouraged workers, you said they're then labeled what?
I can look this up here.
Excluded. I did look this one up.
Oh, here it is right here. I don't know if you can see my screen very well. So it should be on page 199. Under the unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
section, and if you go right before types of unemployment, right before that, there's discouraged workers. You must be actively seeking work in order to be counted as unemployed. An unemployed
Oh,
who is not actively seeking employment is classified as not in the labor force.
interesting. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
It is. Definitely is.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I think that's it for me.
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Hopefully we'll be all right.
See what we get. We missed two.
Oh, what did we miss?
Darn, we missed the number 2 that we didn't know. Let's see.
What was it?
And then Michaela was right about 19.
No way.
What was number 2?
Number 2 was C.
Really? That doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know. Huh. I didn't even think about that.
Real wages downward?
I guess that means that I don't know, that the value of the wages they're giving, the real wage, will be going down with inflation, I guess.
That's weird.
That's
And then 19 was 20% higher than the average price of the base period.
you were right on that one.
Huh. Just the word base, that, like, I was thinking it had to be.
That makes sense. Did you guys want to go over the mind map or anything like that, or?
No, I got it done. Madison, how about you?
Yeah, I finished mine already.
Yeah, me too.
I did
Right
have a
on.
question on homework really quick. Where do you find, like, I know that in the book there's like the equations, but on number 30B, I couldn't figure it out. So it asked what's the size of the labor force, and I got that, but I didn't know what you would do to get unemployment rate based on that.
Let me see if I can look this up here. What number was it?
30.
30. Okay. So what I did, I'll show my screen. If you look on under unemployment, there's this where it says measure of unemployment.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I used to figure it out, where I just drew a little kind of bar graph for myself and said, okay, total population on the left, that's 500. Then we look at population under 16 or whatever, that's kind of at the top, that purple section, so I put 120 there. Then, let's see here, not in labor force, that's 100, so I wrote that down. Yeah, I kind of put it together like that. So what I ended up with was, let's see if I can look at my notes here, but I ended up with the unemployed as 247, and then combine it, or excuse me, employed with 247 and unemployed as 13, which makes the labor force is the combination of those two, the sum of those two. So that makes it 260.
So it's the unemployed plus what?
So the labor force is the combination of employed and unemployed.
Oh, that's where I was thinking.
And if you look at that little graph there, it shows the little bar that says total population is everyone, whereas the labor force is only the last two sections, only the employed and unemployed.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then when you figure out the percentage, it should be based on the labor force. So you have, what is it, unemployed divided by labor force?
Sorry, I'm just writing it down. All right, sweet, that makes sense now. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
Nope, I'm good.
And also, I think remember with the homework is there's no penalty for check work.
Yeah, there's not.
Yeah. So it's a little harder when you. But for a lot of those, it's really helpful.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm good. Do you guys have any more questions or no?
I'm good.
Yeah,
We're getting more effective. It's good.
All right. I'm gonna stop this really quick.